Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us once again today on the
Hello,
Purpose
everyone.
Driven Marriage Podcast.
Yes, so
I and my wife, we are your hosts. My name is Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. And who is this beautiful, elegant, classy, glowing paragon of beauty beside me with bangles?
coming with beads. My name is
Beads,
Blessing
yes.
Ekundayo. Oh, Blessing
Hallelujah.
Ekundayo.
Yes, Blessed Ekundayo. That's the name of this paragon of beauty. This Dudu Shewa, my treasure, my doctor, heart doctor, love song, everything. Glory to
Oh,
Jesus.
my head has almost burst.
It's a joy to be here, everyone. We love being here. And to the
Yes,
glory of
so
God, as long as we have breath, God will enable us to continue to do this because He
amen, amen.
told us to be doing this. And we
Yeah,
believe that many people are getting blessed. We are
glory to
grateful
God.
for the feedback that we receive from you from time to time.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you for always tuning in. For those who watch live, for those who watch the recording, for those who have subscribed to the Purpose Driven Marriage Podcast channel on YouTube, we want to thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for believing that you are always going to get value from this. All right. And if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so as well. You might as well actually like this video on whichever of the channel that you're watching from.
yeah,
We know some of you watch on our individual channels.
yes.
Rema, which is
Relationship and health matters
Health
with the
Matters with Dudu
shower.
Shewa, and
Yeah,
on mine, Dr. Samuel Ekundayo.
yep.
But primarily, we would love you to all subscribe to the Purpose Driven Marriage Podcast,
Yeah.
which is on YouTube and soon to be on Spotify. My assistants are working on that, and we should have an update for us very, very soon. All
Yeah, and
right.
feel free to also share this video. Share this
Yes.
video
Share it on
to
your WhatsApp
WhatsApp, to
status, Facebook,
Facebook.
yeah,
Feel free to share.
Thread,
Yes, and leave a
Twitter.
comment or leave
Yeah.
comments. That way we know that you
You are
watched.
here. You are here. We don't know you are here if you don't leave us
Say
comments.
something.
Yes, say something, or
Yeah.
so that we know that you're here. Don't be shy. This will be great if it's a conversation. We get to
Absolutely.
know, how you're receiving it. We get to know that you are receiving it. First of all, obviously, very important.
Yeah.
But before we go ahead into today's topic, which is things we wish we knew.
Hot topic.
Things we wish we knew about sexual intimacy. We wish we knew those things before marriage. But of course,
Yeah.
marriage shocked us. There's something they call culture shock.
Culture shock,
When
yeah.
when you don't know much about a particular culture, and then you get there, and then something starts happening, you're like,
Just shakes you.
yeah. So we're going to be talking about those shocks for us.
Yeah.
But thankfully we are still together. We are together, and it means we have learned a lot of things, and we are going to be sharing some of those things today. You may relate with some of those things.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments if that's your case. And if, wow, you didn't even know that before, okay, let us know as well. This is also for
Yeah.
people who are single, in courtship, about to get married, So these are things we wish you knew. If you know them now, just maybe you can make some adjustments, some changes, ask the
Yeah.
right questions, get to, a lot of things could make a difference. But before we
Yeah.
get into the topic, we would like to acknowledge some of the people who left comments on our last video.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm going to be acknowledging that we have users ZV9W
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
something like
on.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. God bless you. I like what he said. It's a person said, married people, if you understand what I'm saying, say yes, yes, yes. So person commented about, you just sort of responded.
Yeah.
Henry Patrick Erabo, thank you so much.
Yes.
Lola, I enjoyed both episodes. You are doing great. God will continue to lead and guide you.
Amen. Thank you, Lola.
Anthony Omoni, I said a few things. He said, trusting the Holy Spirit, praying for one another,
Yeah.
knowing your purpose, and so on.
Some of the
I
things we
gained
talked
a
about.
lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm going to also say thank you to those who watched on Dr. Samuel Ekundayo's YouTube channel.
Yes.
Aohio says
Yeah.
says what you do united you can never do divided.
Yes, that was
is
one of the
powerful.
quotes that did come out of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, the same person actually said, good evening, Mr. and Mr. Kundayo. Thank you for sharing your experience, challenges, and improvements in your marriage. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes. And thank you all. We really appreciate you all for watching. We are grateful because that you always show up every now and then. Now we're gonna get straight into the topic. If you're ready, say I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Put in the chat, say I am ready.
Yeah, and I think before we start, it's important to also sort of let you know that this is just our own experience in our own marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a prescription for what your marriage is going to look like or what your marriage should look like. Okay.
Yeah.
But whatever lessons that we are sharing is sort of things that you can learn from.
Yeah.
And if you feel like it's not important to you, then feel free to.
Yes. But we really would love to also hear your point of view as well.
Yeah.
So feel free to engage us in the chat. If you have a question, actually leave it in the chat too. All right.
Yes,
we will respond.
We'll
I promise you we will answer. So we're gonna dive. We're gonna dive straight into it. Things we wish we knew. We may not finish this today, but we could continue next week. All right. Things we wish we knew. Number one was that we didn't know that expectations are different. We did not know that our expectations for sexual intimacy are very, very different. Somebody will say, but didn't you guys talk about it? Oh, yes, we did. We did.
Yeah, I think we should, maybe before we start talking about it, we should let people, we should talk about the fact that sex was created by God, to start with.
And it's beautiful.
Yes, and it's beautiful. The devil did not create anything. The devil just tries to twist or pervert what God created or what God has created. And God created it for our enjoyment in marriage. True. I know some people see sex as, it's dirty. It's not for people who are.
That's a wrong mindset.
No, it's a wrong mindset.
Yeah.
God wants you to enjoy it as couples. So
as a marriage, in a marriage,
not for singles now.
I believe also that it's one of God's greatest gifts to marriages. Sex is a beautiful gift, an amazing gift. It is one of the greatest form of pleasure ever, and that for God to reserve it for marriage, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. So if a marriage, a married couple are not having sex, something is wrong. Yeah, in other words, there is a denial of pleasure that they are already denying themselves in that marriage. So it's a beautiful thing. It's amazing. In fact, the King James Version, every time he wanted to refer to two people have sex, it would say that Adam knew his wife. I don't know why Eve never knew Adam, but you get my point now. Adam knew his wife. There's a form of knowing that only happens when two people share their bodies, and that is in marriage. Let's reemphasize that. There's a form of knowing, a level of knowing, and God doesn't want that knowing to happen without you being committed to each other forever and ever and for life. So we just want to emphasize that sex is beautiful. It is beautiful. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's a gift of God in marriage. So everything we are saying today, we are letting you know about God's perspective for it and things we wish we knew that maybe if we knew better, we would have done better.
We have done better. So improved our marriage.
Yeah. So
improved our lives earlier.
Yeah. So single people, this is a gift to you. This episode is a gift to you. So you can learn now, and married people, maybe you are struggling with your sexual intimacy in marriage. This is going to really help you as well. All right. You can learn from us instead of learning,
the hard way.
Learning the hard way. All right, number one is that expectations differ. Expectations differ. And in life, expectations are often informed by something. Some people's expectations were informed by their parents' view of what sex is. Especially we that grew up in an African home. We've been told,
or like a Christian, a staunch Christian, because we're both pastors' children.
Yes. So if you,
it's like they're bad.
Yeah, I don't ever recall my dad and mom calling me even after I got married, to tell me and say, "Hey, so this is how to have sex. So this is what to do. This is how to touch your wife. Or
they just you to know. You will know.
You will know. The Holy Spirit will teach you."
I remember that. teenager, my dad was, when he was giving us sort of coaching about, don't have sex and things like that, he told us about stuff. He said something. He said, that, when people say if you don't have sex before marriage, how are you going to be able to enjoy it in marriage? He now told me something. He said, Bible says that Adam knew his wife, that nobody had to teach him how to
He just knew. Karo Shatalaba.
And so they just expect us that we too, when we get there, we
know. And kudos to our parents and all of that. I believe they did their best.
Absolutely.
But the level of education we received where sexual intimacy is concerned brought a bit of expectation, and this often leads to some people believing it's just for procreation, and that set that expectation. So for us, it's not like we believed it was for procreation, but those things also informed our view of it, informed our view of sex in the way that we started to not necessarily see it as a form of pleasure initially, obviously, right? But later on, it became better.
Well, it became better, yes. But I think that we didn't think about it just for procreation, because it was not just for procreation.
No, I didn't think of it like that anyway. Yeah.
It was not just for procreation. I think that we got better, yes, as we
We want shout out to my dad-in-law, Dr. Ezekiel Agbaje, Reverend Dr. Ezekiel Agbaje. That is watching us, so we have to be careful what we are saying. No, just kidding. We'll keep it real. We'll keep it real as much as possible as well. Another thing that informed our expectations were movies, books. Meals and Bones and all of those things like that. But for me, particularly movies, when you watch in all these movies, the way people have sex is as if they are animals. Two animals just met each other, boom, and it's done in 2 seconds. There's no foreplay, there is no getting ready, there's nothing. It's just straight into it, and you believe the same thing will happen when you in your own marriage. You just look at your wife, both of you will stare at each other like this, and all of a sudden you are kissing. And all of a sudden you are done after 2 seconds.
Imagination versus expectation versus reality.
Yeah. So those expectations, did not help us at all. They did not help us at all. Another thing that informed our expectation was pornography. What we see on the internet. I was much young. When I was much younger, I was a bit addicted to pornography, and of course, everything you see in pornography, you think it's real, but it's not. It's not real. Some of those people are performing, and
they're on drugs. Some of them are on drugs.
Yeah. And you realize that those things forming your expectations is almost like suicide mission when it comes to...
You expect your wife to hang or something?
Yes, so to be giving you all these Kama Sutra moves, you expect that you'll be hanging on one window somewhere. No. Abi, you always do it rushly in the car or inside one bathroom in something like that. Well, those things happen, but they don't happen just like you see them in movies or no. They have to happen by intentionality. And then we realize that despite discussing most of these things, we discussed a lot about these things before we got married. But remember our story, we met online. So we are, but there's a limits to which we can discuss in a Christian courtship that you don't want to get yourself in trouble, right? So we had limits to what we can discuss. Right?
We could not go. We could not practicalize those discussions. Basically, we had to just do within the limits or the confines of the Word of God, because we wanted to keep ourselves, until wedding. And so it was after the wedding that we could now begin to explore each other's bodies, explore different positions, explore different styles,
and learn
and
so on.
Yes, and even the journey to exploration was not an easy journey for us.
So if you are watching us right now and you have been informed by movies, parental influence, and all of those things like that, just know, especially for single people, just know that the reality is often very, very different. Very, very different. And of course, while still wanting to please God and do His will, just have that at the back of your mind from the very get-go, so that you're not disappointed, because this is some of the things that causes a lot of issues in marriage. Many people have been informed by their previous sex partners, their expectation has been informed by their previous sex partners, and expectation has been informed when they were not born again, expectation has been informed by movies, by pornography, by all sorts, by societal definition of what it should be like, and all of those. And then you get into a Christian marriage, you meet this woman or you meet this man, and there is
who is probably naive,
who's
probably a novice, and it's interesting how these expats people they go and marry somebody who doesn't.
It's amazing. It's how it happens, only God knows. So let's be very open. I had some experiences before we got married, but stolen things are not like the real thing, right? So when it comes to the one that you stole, that you had to hide to do it, it's not the same, right? But the one that I'm having with my wife now, I'm not stealing it. I had all the time in the world, everything.
You're right.
But because I was informed by the wrong way of doing it, it really affected us. I had expectations. Why are you not supposed to be like this? Why are you not supposed to squirt? Why are you not supposed to, because of the expectations that I had in my head. And she was looking at me like, take it easy.
I think that's the beauty of when we sort of just do things according to, when we counsel singles these days, and we tell singles, oh, don't, keep yourselves pure, don't do this. At the end of the day, you realize that you don't have like a standard that you are trying to meet. You don't have that. There's no standard. Both of you will just end up sort of exploring, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, nobody should be. It's not a competition. But what's most important is that both of you have to be intentional about it.
Absolutely.
You watch marriages who struggle with sexual intimacy. There are people who have chosen not to listen to each other. They are both not intentional. They are not working together as a team. Husband expects this, and he's not getting it. Then something is wrong with that woman. That woman is my problem. Is my problem. Take note of that. Is my problem. And wife too, maybe has been informed by previous sex partners, movies, pornography, all of those things like that. And they are not teachable. They are not people. That guy is my problem. That guy is my problem. In fact, the way manhood is shaped, the way his manhood is this, and we are burying it all now. We are saying all of those things. That's my problem. That's my problem. That's my problem. But we were blessed, because even though in the initial stage we had this, you are my problem too. We had it. Because we've been informed by all these things. My wife, you read some Meals and Bones, right, before you got married.
Yeah.
So she had this romantic view of, talk now.
Yeah, I mean, I had this idea of how it was supposed to be. Very easy, very pleasurable, very painless,
very gentle.
Yes, very painless, like your knight in very smooth, shiny armor, very enjoyable. But it was not my experience, to be fair, to be honest, at the beginning. So it was very contradicting.
It contradicted
my expectation of what I thought or what I'd imagined it was supposed to be versus what was actually happening for us in reality. I was like, whoa,
this is
this
different.
What they are saying that they are enjoying.
How can we enjoy this?
We have not enjoyed this,
No, contrast that with someone who's come from the Meals and Bones, romantic, slow, gentle. For someone who else is informed by pornography, when you combine those two, pornography has a lot of violence and all of those things. Like when you combine those two together, they are not very good combination. They like opposites, not pole to south pole. Like, so we had that major clash. And it lasted for a while. I remember it was one of those, for those of you who don't understand what we mean by reset, please watch the last episode. It was one of those resets. We sat down together and we say, this aspect of our lives, this sexual intimacy aspect of our life, we have to reset it as well. We have to reset it as well, right? And I remember we had that conversation. In fact, let me shock you guys. It was in that reset conversation that that was the first time I realized that I had not been pleasing my wife sexually. My ego was bruised, as in shattered. shatter, you know, and that was like probably year 2 or so.
Yeah,
Thereabout.
probably even later.
Yeah,
Later
imagine
than
after
that,
2-3 years, your wife
Yeah.
just said, "Sir, everything you have been doing for the last 3 years is zero."
I'd not actually
You
say
didn't
it
say
like
that, yeah. But it sounded like that. You know, you have not even taken time to do this, to learn this, to do, you know. So that change.
Yeah.
So expectations was one of our major shocks. And let me let me speak to the men here, because this is also something we have to educate other people. I promise you, you don't know your wife yet until you actually know her, and that's why no one should dive into sex without actually asking the other person what they want. We'll get there later on when we talk about communication. So, do you want to say anything else on that?
No,
number one?
I think we should move on. We've got lots of things I want to talk about today.
All right. Number 2,
Yeah.
that we wish we knew earlier were that our libidos are different. All right.
Yeah.
Our level of desire for sex will be very, very different.
We didn't know different. That. Yeah.
We didn't know that.
Yeah. We didn't know that. But to be honest, I sort of had the idea.
Where did you get this idea from?
You know, babe, we were talking, baby, during our courtship.
Yeah, true.
We were talking, and the way you used to ask me some questions, like, why is this about asking me this kind of question for goodness sake? What does he want to know with this? So, you know, and then we talked about our past.
Yeah,
too.
I think in one of those questions I'd ask you how many times per day you like to have it.
I don't even know, you know. So I'll just as many times as you want. I'm ready for you.
As many times as for me too, I took it literally. Okay now. As many times as let's reduce my volume. Okay.
So I was like, you know, I don't know, but I feel like we sort of discussed it. So I had an idea, so to speak, that you know that your libido was sort of going to be higher than mine.
Yeah.
But that expectation about how high, I didn't know. I never experienced it.
How high? How deep? Oh God. But what we are sharing right now is very true. Is one of the major things that is affecting a lot of married couples in their marriage, and they are struggling because apparently for us, most men, libidos are very high. Our desire for sex is very high, and for women, their desire for sex most of the time is lower, relatively lower than most men. But what I've come to realize, in every marriage, there's always someone who wants it more than the other person. There's always someone who wants it 3 times a day. That is like food, and then there's the other person. And funny enough, these two people always attract each other. They always attract each other. So, you know, if you're a single person in the house, you're in courtship and all of that, you need to be aware of this. Be very aware. We were not fully aware as such. And that led to a lot of conflict as well, because you're expecting that this person is supposed to just be ready every time. You know, we had it in the morning.
Second.
Yeah.
24/7.
You should have it again in the afternoon. You should have it again in the night. You know, it took a lot of learning and unlearning and so on to realize that, man, this thing, we have to balance it. Otherwise, you will kill kete kete.
Kete kete is donkey.
Kete kete means donkey in our language. You just kill kete kete, and kete kete that you are supposed to ride for life. If you go and kill it in the first year, kete kete has no substitute. So that was one of the things that we didn't know, but it took a lot of learning, unlearning, relearning to balance that out for us, and eventually we balance it out, and it makes so much sense. And let's just talk about how we balance that out, or maybe we'll leave that to another episode completely.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll talk about, you know, things that we did. So today's like, we'll talk about our struggles.
Yeah, so, okay. All right.
And then how we sort of walk through our way through it.
Okay. So number 3 that we did not know, we thought it was just be wham bam tam bam, but I later realized personally that it starts with the mind for the woman. It starts with the mind. And before I became very intentional about that, to be very sincere, it's like I was hurt. I was hurt because I thought, you're supposed to be ready. You're supposed to, even you're supposed to desire me too. That kind of thing, but it took a while. It took a while to realize, oh, wow, okay, there's so many things I don't know. One of the greatest form of freedom or deliverance is when you realize your ignorance.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah, is a major form of deliverance.
Yeah.
Many people are held in bondage and in oppression today because they themselves do not know what they don't know.
They don't even know that they don't know.
That they don't know that. True, and that was my case then.
Because
that was
he
my
thought
case.
that he knew.
Yeah, because of experience, and we have watched a lot of movies too. We have watched, so I thought,
But yeah, I think we'll talk about it, how everybody is different.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I thought I knew you already because I thought all women are the same. You're supposed to respond like this. You're supposed to act like this. When I do this, you just give me that sound. If I give you this move like this, you two are supposed to come back like this. You're supposed to respond like this, and she was not responding. It's not looking like how I.
No comment.
When you come to terms with your ignorance, it's a major level of deliverance. Because then all of a sudden you know what you don't know, and then you're now able to go after that
knowledge. Yeah.
Somebody said, if you know someone who doesn't know what they don't know, he said that person is foolish.
Wow.
Yeah. So you must know what you don't know. All right. And that means you are not egoistic about the things you don't know. The moment your ignorance is called out, either by your husband or by your wife, then go after learning. Be intentional.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to go into number 4. What we did not realize is that communication is actually one of the greatest form of intimacy. Communication.
Absolutely.
It's not the
like
action.
The backbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the action, but the communication. Do you want to say anything to that?
Yes. So I think for us, that was part of what really helped us. And I think also we struggled a lot with communication to start with.
Yeah.
At the beginning of our marriage, we used generally we used to clash a lot, and it just spilled over into our sexual life, when you are not in tune with this person, when you're not communicating
properly.
Yes, when it's always like fight. When you say one thing and the person has misinterpreted what you are saying, or is thinking what you're not even thinking, or she's thinking
if you don't know what we are talking about, go and watch the first 2
Yes,
episodes.
you understand, our struggles at the beginning. So we had to actually work on that communication. That's number 1. Okay. And then number 2, we now had to begin to express what we were not liking about what
the other person was doing, what the other person think they are doing right, and so on.
And I think that the moment we began to get that right in terms of communication, things began to change positively for us. So when the communication is not effective, it's definitely going to spill over even to your sexual life, because you've got to in fact, if you're not enjoying it, for example, there's no way the other person will know if you don't communicate. If you're feeling pain,
say it.
Like I was at the beginning, I was like, why is it painful?
But she won't say anything to me then.
Painful. Because I used to feel like this is how I used to feel like. I used to feel like he was up there, like I have certificates. I'm certified. So I've got degree in this thing
from the University of Kabasutra.
So how do you get someone that has a degree that this degree is not qualified?
I'm sure you didn't want to bruise my ego at the time, and you are suffering in silence, suffering and smiling.
So I think communication is everything.
It is everything. And if you don't communicate normally in your normal married life, you will struggle to communicate during sexual intimacy. You're going to struggle. It's not a curse. It's just how it is. If you don't have good friendship before, like normally. When it comes to sexual intimacy as well, that lack of friendship will not help. The other person will be in pain, or the other person will not be enjoying it. The other person will be uncomfortable, and the other person will not be able to tell the person, because on a normal day they can't even tell each other what they are doing wrong anyway, without it causing rift and issues. And imagine fighting while you're having sex. That's just crazy. So the other person would rather take the pain, take the lack of comfort, and just continue like that. And so
it's
many,
not good.
so many, especially women, they can take that discomfort for years without telling you a single thing.
They just become numb.
They just become numb to it. And you, the other person, are hoping that we are supposed to be getting better and better and better. So men, let me speak to men here from my own experience. You need to understand how to communicate with your wife sexually. She may not want to bruise your ego by telling you a lot of things. I think one of the greatest changes of our marriage was one of the resets we had, where you literally said, I've not been enjoying this thing for the past few years. I can't remember the number of years. I've not been enjoying this thing. You have not been doing it well. I have not been, responding well. And we realized that we have just been faking pleasure, and it was not helping us at all.
Yeah,
it was not helping us at all. So communication is very, very, very key. And that's why we always advise singles. Don't marry someone you cannot talk to as a friend. Don't marry someone you cannot talk to as a friend. Don't marry someone that you cannot, look them in the eye and tell them the truth.
And the reality also is, because you're not enjoying it, you're likely not to even be interested in having it. And the other person who is interested in having it, will be frustrated, because you cannot please the person as often as the person desires to be pleased. And then person will carry that frustration on the other things that pertain to other areas
of life. It will now look like a Fuji house of commotion.
Even the person that married will get, they will collect their own frustration. So it's important that both of you actually sit down and talk about this thing. What is happening? Reflect, evaluate. Your sexual life. Yes.
And another point of this one is communicate what you want. Don't assume, don't expect, it's sex now, we're supposed to figure it out. No, communicate what you want. I want it slow. I want it fast. I want it rough. I want it simple. I want it this. Say it. And some people too, they don't want it the same way all the time. Today, this is how I would like it. You say what you want. The day we realized we could actually say what we want, our lives changed.
Things got better.
Today, to the glory of God, I tell my wife, this is how I want it today. This is how she too will tell me, this is how I want it today.
Speak clearly.
Speak clearly. Speak English. Don't speak French. Don't speak mind language. There are some people who communicate with their mind. They expect their husband to figure out their mind, or their wife to read their mind. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. And it's in communication we realize that our bodies, not all women are the same. So maybe some men had been with a few women before they met their wife now. There's an expectation you believe that the way woman A behaved
or responded,
my wife is supposed to behave like woman A. And because is they not the same? I've literally heard this before. Remember, recently we were hearing somebody was saying all women are the same. There's no difference. I was telling my wife while we were listening to that, and I said no, that's wrong. That's very wrong. Not all women are the same.
Sometimes you want it
differently.
And if you go with, again, talking about the mindset and the expectation, if you just go with that mindset and the expectation, and you're going to get it wrong. You've got to go with an open mind. Be ready to pleasure your spouse, and not just focus on yourself enjoying pleasure. Ready to pleasure your spouse.
Ready to receive feedback. And be given feedback.
It requires humility.
And to give feedback too. It requires a lot of humility. And this is one of the things we have learned in our marriage. It requires it because it's a very intimate time. A very intimate aspect of your marriage, that if you get it wrong, the devil will use it to suggest all kind of things.
It
will now look like if you try somebody else, maybe it will be better. That woman, that man is the problem. Try somebody else. You see that you are not the problem. That's how the devil suggests all those kind of things to people. Why? Because these two people who are married, they've not been able to come off their high horses and actually sit down and communicate about this thing and say, Daddy, or mom, this thing we have been doing, you have not been enjoying it.
we turn it around.
I like to give you a feedback. When you do this, don't do that. And because a lot of things happen, to women, especially during childbirth, pregnancy, all of those things, it requires communication.
Yeah.
It does require communication. And then ask questions. It was later that I learned I could ask my wife questions and say, oh, did you like when I did this? Yeah. Did you enjoy it when I did that? Did you like it when I sucked this? Did you like it when I touched them?
I felt like he was actually intentional about wanting to please me, and he wasn't just doing things by the books or doing things by sort of methodically.
I had to rewire my mindset.
Yeah, and for me that was beautiful. That alone, knowing that somebody is wanting to please you, it goes a long way to also. It went a long way for me personally to help me sort of relax and help me to also enjoy the process.
Yeah. And then please the other person in return too. So this is very, very, very important. So we're going to take one more because we don't always want this to go too long.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll continue with the rest later on. All right?
Yeah.
All right. The next one is feeling loved is key to a great sexual chemistry. Feeling loved. And this one is very important. I don't think anyone would have great sexual life in marriage if one person doesn't feel loved.
It's almost impossible because you cannot give your best when you are unhappy or when you feel like you're just a slave in that house. You would not be able to give your best.
Yeah.
When your husband is not speaking your love language or your wife is not speaking your love language, you have a wife who is disrespecting you, who doesn't care about you,
who's
who talks to you
nagging
anyhow. You will not be able to enjoy.
You'll not be able to submit your body.
Exactly. Especially, I think it happens especially for us women. We carry this hurt in our heart, and even though we have to, we know that we still need to please our husbands. Who most of the time, not all men, but most of the time, men are the ones that have the higher libido. We just either just do it for doing sake, or we. Sometimes some women, and this is not right, but some women will sort of withhold their body as a result of that.
You say, I have a headache today, I have something tomorrow. They are doing construction in my body the next week, and
or even when there's malice too. When malice lingers, for days, for weeks, it's very unlikely that you guys are going to be able to come together. During that period. And this is so important. And let me speak to men here. Make your wife feel loved, accepted, and desired. Especially when our body changes. Show her that you still find her attractive. And when I say show her you still find her attractive, it's not necessarily by wanting to have sex with her every day. No, that's not really the show. It's in your communication. It's in your actions. It's your sayings.
Yeah, your sayings. The things you say to her.
You're beautiful. You're still looking very attractive. Just like the day I first met you.
Let's go. You're communicating to her that you actually still love her. Women need to hear that and see that. So hear and see from time to time. Why? Because they are the ones with their body going through a lot of changes as a result of childbirth and so on and so forth. So we men, don't be just one of those harsh daddies, that, some people say I'm a naturally traditional man. I'm not that romantic. That's nonsense. Come off your high horse, and if you have to learn it, learn it. Learn it. Learn how to send good text messages to your wife. You look so beautiful. In fact, it's like you are more beautiful every day. You are not lying. That's the truth. You are not lying. You need to condition your mind to see her that way. Absolutely. You need to condition your mind to see her that way. You need to make sure that you condition your mind such that you're emotionally involved with her from time to time. I realized when I did that, personally, let me speak for myself, and I became more intentional. There was a time I had to set a reminder on my phone to remind me to tell my wife every day that I love her. And I improved on massively because the moment the reminder said, okay, I'm looking for the opportunity to actually tell her that. I'm looking for a text message that I can send.
Very sweet.
Yeah, thank you, dear. I because I had to make a conscious decision. All right. When the other person doesn't feel loved, they don't feel accepted, they don't feel desired, it's going to affect your sexual intimacy. And it did affect our own for a long time until we had to make conscious effort to change that. Yeah. Should we take one more?
I think we should.
Okay, let's take last one. Number 6 It is okay to seek help. It is okay. Somebody say it. Help us type it out so that we know that you are still following us. It is okay to seek help. We know sexual intimacy is something very intimate. So many of us, when we are struggling, we'd rather be struggling in silence. We don't want our dirty linen to be in public. How can we go and now be speaking to somebody and the person we know our secrets, our struggles, our private matter. Yes. That, in my own opinion, with all sense of due respect, that's just foolishness. Please don't do that to yourself.
Don't suffer in silence.
Life is too short. Life is too short to be suffering and not speak out.
Yes.
It's too short. Speak out. Speak out. Find somebody you trust. Find someone you love. Pay for our coaching. Pay for our counseling, for instance. We'll meet you there. Find,
or see a sex therapist.
See a sex therapist. Yeah. See a sex coach.
Yeah.
Can we confess that? We had to see a sex coach.
Yeah. We had to.
Babes, you want to speak to that?
Yes, so we had to go for lessons, coaching.
Yeah, paid coaching.
Yes.
To learn.
I mean, I think something that many of us don't talk about is, I think the first thing is you got to identify that you've got a problem. When you admit that we have a problem,
you have a problem.
Yes, and then you figure out, okay, what can we do to address this problem as a couple, not blaming each other.
Yeah.
And then
nothing that person is the problem.
Yes, you are the problem. Go and sort it out. Go and look for.
Go and
get the help.
You are the one with the issue.
Yes, go and get the help. But it was both of us working together as a couple, right? And he went for coaching. I went for coaching.
Yes, so serious coaching.
Intense coaching to the point that when I came back like this,
I'm like, hey, we are a new generation. Regenerated. There's a way you can be born again, not just by the spirit. Labos, lobos. Anyway.
It's not real talk, there's something else. We came back charged. We came back ready to please each other.
Yeah.
And we haven't stopped doing it.
No. We are still going on.
Yeah,
we are still learning.
We haven't stopped doing it. And I think that if both of you can just realize, what is the problem? Why am I not enjoying it? Is it because I've gone through traumas in the past that I haven't healed
some people don't know that until you now hear a therapist talk about it. Yeah.
Exactly. And is that why I cannot let go? Is it because I've got a medical condition down there? That's what is causing me pain. So, I mean, the truth of the matter is that sex is not supposed to be painful.
Yeah.
So if it's painful, then you need to get help. You need to figure out, why am I experiencing pain through this? And there are so many things that you can do, as a couple to make the process a lot more enjoyable and pleasurable. Yes, and better.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about some of those things
later. Yeah, we'll talk about them
episode.
Later.
Yeah, but I mean, it's important to get help.
Sex is meant to be beautiful, and it is only when it's beautiful you long for it. Yeah. You desire it. You want more and more of it. Our sister is here. It's like Adebayo.
Yes, God bless you. Thank you for joining.
It is only when it is beautiful, when it's pleasurable, that you look forward to the next one and the next one and the next one, and you even desire more and more with each other, more of each other. You can't wait to have more. To the glory of God. That's our experience now. It wasn't our experience when we started. Yeah. It was not our experience when we started, but we had to seek help. So don't be ashamed. Don't be too egoistic. Don't be too insecure to seek help. I'm begging you now, because life is too short. The devil has ruined many marriages because of this ego that sex is intimate now. We're supposed to figure it out. Adam knew his wife. Nobody taught him. All those. Learn. Go for sex coaching.
It can be better. It can be better.
Yeah.
It can be better.
We had to look for people to educate us. Education is deliverance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Education on its own is deliverance. It's deliverance from ignorance. It's deliverance from oppression. It's deliverance from pain. It's deliverance from suffering. So when you get educated, you know some things. If you don't know anything about your car, no matter how expensive that car is, you are going to have accident. So some people have married beautiful husbands, beautiful wives, but they are not educated on how to please the person, how to please the wife, how to please the husband. So they ended up losing that husband to somebody else. And that person now goes somewhere else and they are now enjoying. They're like, wow. It doesn't have to be that way. If both people can just come off their high horses and be educated.
Yeah.
In marriage, there's a lot of unlearning, relearning, and learning that has to be done. Yeah. And sexual intimacy is not how do I say this now? It's not one of those places that it doesn't happen. No. So. It happens in all aspects of marriage.
Yes, so,
you must be willing to seek help.
So learn different styles, to learn different positions.
Learning. Life is too short to have boring sex.
I was going to say that. That was going to be my end. Like, he loves to say that a lot. Life is too short to have boring sex.
Yeah, so life is too short. Life is too short to be having boring sex. So life is too short to not have good sex in marriage. I mean, the only place God has said you should have it is in that marriage. And then you now be shy inside it. You'll be insecure inside it. You'll be stupid inside it. May we not be stupid and unfortunate in Jesus' name. Get help if you need help. Yeah. Talk to somebody if you have to talk to somebody. Seek help if you need. Do you know some people who have been decades in marriage, 60 years in marriage, 30 years in marriage, 50 years in marriage, and they are not enjoying their sexual intimacy. And both of them, they cannot be honest with each other. Some of them are watching us right now, or they watch this recording. They cannot even look at each other and tell each other the truth. They cannot come off their high horse, as a man, as a woman, to say, "Daddy, mommy, it's not right. Yeah. We need help."
Yeah. I think that if people are struggling, I feel like if people are struggling sexually, it's really, I feel like it's not just about the sexual life. There is a lot more to that marriage that they need to deal with.
Yeah.
For example, if we talk about communication.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a good communication style,
good friendship, a lot of things.
So there's a lot that needs to be sort of unpacked.
Yeah.
Because if you don't actually have all of those things, like what we already said, it's going to be difficult to actually enjoy that pleasure of intimacy in marriage. Because I feel like that's also what we struggled with.
That's what we struggled with, yeah.
But step by step, if you begin to, work on things little by little in your marriage, you realize that it will also,
it will spill over to all the other aspects of your marriage, to your sexual intimacy as well. And let me speak to all those people who over spiritualize everything. So you are struggling with your sexual intimacy, and the only thing you can think about is to pray about it. While that's a great idea. The Bible says prayer. Pray without ceasing. So pray. Pray without ceasing. Yeah. Which means you should pray about everything. Yeah. Absolutely, because even it's in prayer that God will send the right people your way. But some people are so over spiritual about this sort of thing that even God will send the right people their way, they will still not talk to the right people. Yeah, God will bring the right coach, the right counsel. You are listening to this now. Yeah. You're supposed to even book a session with us and talk to us. You still be there with your ego saying, "Hey, if I go and talk to these people now, they will know my secret." What nonsense! The devil will just be using that to oppress you, and you go 20 years in marriage and you still be struggling, and both of you will be unhappy. My point is, while you pray about it, seek help.
Yeah, get help.
Talk to a counselor. Talk to a coach. Talk to a therapist. Yeah. Some people have been molested sexually when they were young. Yeah, molested. Some people have been raped. Some people have been abused. Some people have been touched in ways that they're not supposed to be touched. And they just need therapy. They just need therapy. We didn't go through some of these traumatic experiences when we were young. But again, we realized that we needed help.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to God for that day we decided to get help. We got help individually. We got help collectively. Till today, we are still getting help.
Yeah, we don't stop learning.
We don't stop learning. Yeah. Oh, okay. There's this, babe, there's this new star that people, that our coach talked about. So there are some people we follow. There's this new star. We're like, let's go and try it too. Life is too short not to try it. There's this other thing, there's this other way,
so we're sending each other messages.
In fact, it was through a coach that we realized that there's something called lubricant. You remember now?
Yes.
And for many years, we thought it was saliva. Let me speak to the men there.
What ignorance does.
Yeah, let me speak to the men there who always do like this. Let me stop you now. Let's be blunt. Saliva is not right. It's not right. It's not this thing, okay? There's something called lubricant. These are part of the education that we had to learn that changed our sexual intimacy in marriage. Okay, we want to finish this, and it's already 50 minutes. We'll continue the rest. We still have about a few more. I think about 5, 6, 7 more that we'll be sharing next week with you. We hope this has been a blessing to you. If it has, leave us a comment right now.
Yes,
Tell us how this has been a blessing.
Yes. I want you to comment. Life is too short to have boring sex.
Yes, life is too short to have boring sex.
Yes, in marriage.
Jesus already died so that you can have good sex. Somebody shout hallelujah. Jesus died for all areas of our lives now. It's revelation, though.
Don't get into that. Remember, starts.
Okay, they said we should not get into them. Otherwise, I will open Bible for you.
Let's just wrap it up like this.
The Bible says, I wish above all things that you will prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Le Caro, do you think your sexual life is out of that?
Let's share the grace.
Let's share the grace.
What the Bible did not say.
But the truth is, it's the truth. Though. Jesus already died, so you don't have to suffer. You don't have to be in pain. All right. So communicate with your spouse, get help, do all the things that we have learned today. There's still so much more we have to share with you, and we cannot wait to share. Do us a favor, like this video. If you have not liked it already, share the video.
Subscribe to our channel.
Do us a favor. If everybody on this call right now would dare just share it with just put it on your WhatsApp status. Yes. Can we ask, as if you're ever willing to say thank you to us, share this link on your Facebook, share it on your WhatsApp status. Not only will you just even be advertising the stuff, no, you would also be helping a lot of marriages. A lot of marriages.
You never know.
Yeah. So like this video if you have not liked it. Subscribe to this channel. And we'll see you again next week by the grace of God. Amen. So let's quickly thank all the people who joined us live. We want to thank Stella Haya. We want to thank Brilliant Adelene. We want to thank Freedom Madu, Dorcas John Ofem, Stella, we mentioned Stella Haya, Esther Adebayo, Chat Ayuba, Aderonke Akintokun, Kumbi A, Nonso Osadebe, Amos Akonde, Dr. Amos Akonde, Taiwo Daniel, Elizabeth Bankefa, thank you for joining. Mills Keys TV, hey Ohio, I forgot your first name, says. God bless you, thanks for joining. Oladipupo Grace, Ojolumide Emmanuel, and Dad and Mom, the Agbajes, God bless you, Daddy Mommy.
Thank you so much.
Ifeoluwa Aro Shegbe,
God bless you.
Thank you all for joining today. If you didn't leave a comment, there's no way we'll know that you are here.
You joined us,
all right, so we hope that this has blessed you massively. If it has, let us know. And if you want to book a session with us, you're saying, Dr. Sam, Dr. Blessing, everything you have talked about today, we are still going through it in my marriage. We need help. Feel free to reach out to us. You know where to find us. You can send us a DM on our if you check the description of this YouTube video that you're watching right now, you find our Instagram there. You can send us a DM. If you think you need a session with us, it's not free. It's paid. If it's just a simple question, we'll probably answer you. But
if it's leave the question,
you just leave the question. You can leave the question on the YouTube page. You can also leave the question on our social media platforms. We'll be more than happy to respond to you. God told us to do this, to model kingdom marriage, and that's why we're bearing it all, including our own errors and mistakes and things we have done in the past, to ensure that we are helping as many people as possible. So do us a favor, share this link right now on your WhatsApp status, on your Instagram status, on your Facebook status. Let us know, and tag us too. We'll be more than happy to correspond with you.
Yes, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to follow Purpose Driven Marriage on Instagram also.
Purpose Driven Marriage on Instagram, yes. Follow Purpose Driven Marriage on Instagram. We're planning some content for you, and it's going to be amazing. God bless you. Have a good rest of the day where you are. We love you. Bye now.